minds at work here with some very serious ideas. I don't know. You see stuff like that, you're like, I get that works, but I think it just furthers crypto as a scammy thing. And maybe it is.
Sure, and it gives us all the whole crypto community a totally bad press when DOGECOIN will drop back to its nothing value.
Yeah, exactly. I was so intrigued
that's the only thing that people will see. They don't see the story behind it before and why and what happened. They just see, it dropped 98%.
Right. And yet what I do find very interesting, though, is the fact of DOGECOIN, right? Like, here's just a complete internet meme joke. Someone made a cryptocurrency out of it, and it is, in its own way, a viable currency. So what does that say about the nature of currency? Do you know what I mean? It's an interesting kind of postmodern.
Everybody wants to make profit, but and unfortunately, mostly they do the profit on the back of everybody else.
It's true, and money is what you believe it to be, and that it seems in many ways what money is what we believe it to be. So if I believe in DOGECOIN,
you're talking about the dollar.
Sure, I really am, absolutely. And if we stop believing in it,
since Nixon dropped the gold standard, it's like it's only believing.
It is, and in some ways, it's always been about believing, though. You know, why does this or that thing have more value?
Sure, I'm reading Amir Saifoud's Bitcoin standard, and he shows the old history, and it doesn't matter if it's some shells or some clay bricks or something. It's always like Conquistador. No? They came with glass bubbles or something, and they got the gold from the South Americans. It's
Yep. And that's kind of the hidden, I shouldn't say hidden, but the silent part of currency or money is it's usually enforced at the sword point, right? Like, there's a reason that counterfeiting was, it had a death penalty attached to it for most of history.
Yeah.
But I was interested last week to talking to Rob, Rabati's guest, where he went after use cases where crypto itself could only do what crypto can do. And I guess in his case, as he sees it, is circumvent regulatory control.
I agree. And the thing is, I read this week something is another some blog or something. Is decentralized really the solution?
Right.
So is it really good that it is out of control? I mean, it is good that it's not controlled by a state, and the next thing is it will be also good that it's not controlled by a specific company like Google, Facebook, or even Twitter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about that a disaster? If Facebook controls money, how far behind is Facebook army?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, though. Are there use cases for crypto besides, skirting regulation or skirting control? What else can crypto do that other forms of currency can't?
At the moment, it was always called, it's the kind of backup or backup currency, or how should we say? If something went wrong, crypto is still okay and blah, blah, blah. But if you check, like I said last time, if you check the S&P 500 chart and the Bitcoin chart, it's the same, mostly.
Yeah.
So it looks like the people only go with larger amounts into crypto if they have something left. You know what I mean? If they if it really goes down, people are dragging out from everywhere, and they see, okay, Bitcoin is a high risky, not Bitcoin, but crypto is a high risky sector. So the first thing they drag out of crypto. The next thing is they drag out of some, let's say, internet companies, like because it's the same like crypto. They don't can touch it. They might use it, but they don't can touch it. So that's the next thing, and so they go back to the old school stuff. No.
Yeah, back to your original thing about, is fully decentralized the best way? And one of the thoughts I had, because crypto is kind of it's an internet money, right? And in many ways, is Google controlled? Well, they kind of are a little. They're regulated by revenue, by people's willingness to use their site, which means they have to create a kind of goodwill. I
And
know
they
in
have
America,
and they have to please the stock investors.
yes, exactly. And they have to show a return, and to show a return means it can't be only favorable to ad, purchasers. It needs to be favorable to users too. So it kind of regulates in a free market way. I don't know how Austria's economy works. In America, kind of the backbone of our economy is the reserve, the Federal Reserve. So that they can essentially they keep a market liquid. And so when credit
It's the
tightens up,
same.
the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, it's the same in Europe actually. I mean,
Okay.
now with the European Union, it's anyway. They actually they took the kind of responsibility, or how should I say, or even they took away actually the control for every single country. But it's because if we want to print money, we have to ask the European Central Bank and blah blah blah, and get the okay from the European Union and the Central Bank. And so it's even more hurdles you have to survive to get something. But on the other hand, is the backbone is with the European Union. It's also done by other big countries like France and Germany.
Yeah. Well, hey, it looks like Earl Sir Sir is here. Hello. Can you talk?
Hello, gentlemen. Yes, I can.
Well, good. First question.
First time we hear his voice.
I know.
I hope
Very
it's
charming.
I hope it's all right.
Yeah. So, quick question for you. So, is it Auscoi or Earl Sir Sir?
Auscoi.
Auscoi. Excuse me.
If you
speak
just
German,
want to
so I
say
see
Aus,
Aus.
if you just want to say Oz,
Oz.
it's fine too. Yeah, yeah.
Auscoi. Are you Australian?
No, I get that quite a bit. I am actually in the States. I'll leave it there, but yeah.
Okay. Very good. So Auscoi. What is Earl Sir Sir? Just out of curiosity.
One day we were in here. I think somebody was riffing on some Outcast, and I really like Outcast. And throw your hands in the air, and it just became LCC, became Earl Sir Sir. So that's where that comes from. Let me get that Earl Sir Sir.
Oh, that is fantastic. I had some sort of I was like thinking Earl Grey tea. I wasn't quite sure where to go with that.
But the funny
I
thing
like
is,
that though.
but the funny thing is, if you write at Aus, it still shows you the Sir Sir. So I always write Aus. It's okay. It works.
Oz. Earl Sir
Easier.
Sir. I thoroughly love that.
Cool. Right on. Yeah, I don't think I know the worldwide audience may not get that joke as much.
Yeah, but yeah, if you love the South in America, yeah, you know what's going on there. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What I see from the audience is, so I think oh damn, I'm the farthest let's say east Yeah. Because Oscar is Spain, Capex is, I think, Italy. No, BCN is there. He's Russian. Okay. Probably
Yeah,
still
this
sleeping.
is a fun international community here. I loved the mixing of people from around the world. So we were going to originally talk Oz about the VR there, but I just wanted to make a connection because I have always wondered, with Tipsy, how did you come to that? I mean, Tipsy is iconic. What was the creation story for Tipsy?
Okay, well, it actually started in two different servers at once. Both here and Lynx are two different coins that Tipsy works with. And right at the same time, I had come in here and someone who was an admin at the time was talking to me about how LCC needed a tip bot. And at the same time, there was a guy trying to kind of develop a tip bot in Lynx. And
Okay.
I felt that I needed to learn how to program Python for some reason. So I took it upon myself to create a tip bot using Python. And
Wow.
it started out very simple. Tipsy 1.0 was just a tip bot, like a lot of the ones you see out there. There's a ton of tip bots out there now. And I'm
Really?
actually
Was yours the first?
no, it was definitely not the first. I was inspired by another Discord server that I saw, Ignition Coin. They had a tip bot going a long time ago, and I was in there. And they also had the Me6 bot controlling the levels, doing the thing it does. And somehow
Okay.
they had intertwined the two so that the levels and the ranks, basically it was like you'd get to a certain level, just like it is in here. I kind of got the idea of the levels from that setup, but it was working with two different bots, and so I wanted to mash it into one bot. And so that's the general where it started. The rest of it basically evolved from the live testing throughout the two communities, mostly LCC. To be honest, Litecoincash has been instrumental in the creation of what it is today, and even the little flowers that we get in here. That's going to
Yeah.
become a Tipsy staple for all Guilds going forward. There's a lot of stuff that I've created for Tipsy based on the usage of this community that I never even saw coming in the first place. I built this thing to work one way, and everybody kind of like twisted it around and had all these ideas, and I just kind of ran with it and said, hey, let's just keep going. And so it's really been a riff between my own weird ideas and the community feedback. So it's been nice.
Yeah, I remember being surprised when I found out that Tipsy wasn't a feature of Discord. I just assumed it was a Discord thing. But
Yeah, well,
there's always a fun personality there.
I mean, I heavily rely on the Discord API. Like I absolutely, it is essentially a feature of Discord. And the current bot that's in here, I painted myself into a corner, only supporting one coin in one guild like this, which I can't expand. Nobody can have another. I can't put an LCC Tipsy in another room because it would, the way I
Right.
wrote it was quick and dirty, to be honest. So I have spent the last
Okay.
couple years not only tweaking the one that's currently running to have more fun things going, but I've also been rewriting the entire architecture of it from the ground up, creating essentially a system, not just a bot, but I'm creating something a lot larger than just Discord. At this point, I'm not going to say too much because I have a lot of ideas,
Okay.
and I'm starting to notice a lot of competition with similar names popping up. So I'm trying to be quiet
Interesting.
about a lot of my ideas until they're ready to come out. But I promise when this next version comes out, I'm going to have I've been working on a lot of connections and a lot of ways to make Tipsy instrumental in different systems that are also up and coming. So as these other systems grow, so will my system.
Yeah, one of the things I've loved about Tipsy is you talk about quick and dirty. I mean, that just describes Tipsy. She is quick and dirty. And I think that kind of personality was the sense I got that everybody liked her. And she's a she for some reason.
That was a community
But
decision. That was a community decision. I did not come up with that. That was not my thing, but I ran with it because I love it. I mean, everybody
Yeah,
just started saying it, and I just said, okay, that's it. We're going to adopt it. So Tipsy has an identity.
she does. And a gender.
one thing I want to add is we Tipsy was in breakdown statistics very far on page 49 compared to other Discord channels. That's the props I can give you. No, because other channels always, oh, the bot is dead. Oh, the bot is dead.
Oh, yeah, that's
and yours was actually always okay. We had some flaws sometimes, but of course,
yeah,
everybody
let's
does.
be honest.
But
It's gone down.
yeah, but compared to the other ones, it's minimum. It's
Sure, and I've worked hard on that too. And I've been a programmer for a long time, and I actually understand application design. I just, this is a new venue for me. Um, but when I first wrote it, it works. You see that it doesn't fail. It didn't go offline. Nobody ever really lost any money, hopefully. Um,
I
and
never did.
you're right. And so,
I only gained.
it's a fail first system. The way that I wrote it, it's completely strict. I mean, it's just ridiculously strict. It's dirty and fast, but it's super strict. And so I'm taking the idea of how I wrote that, and because it was kind of a new invention for me and my own brain too. And I actually did not use a template. A lot of these tip bot designers are out there using a template or wrappers. I actually
Okay.
wrote this from the ground up myself because I wanted to control every aspect of it and know how it was operating. So I've been really, really deep in this thing. And so that's what's given me the insight and knowledge to create this next step that I'm working on, which is going to be a much larger implementation of the same system.
And obviously not going to get in it too much, but from what you'd written in Medium, I got the sense you're looking to cross platforms, right?
Yes.
Really
multi-coin, multi-platform, and I would actually at this point say multi-reality.
Well, yeah. So we'll get into the virtual reality app, and I'll make sure that we hit that before we're done. But
Yeah.
I just can't. You keep adding to the personality and defining her because she is dirty, fast, and also super strict. Because if you disobey her rules, she either doesn't perform or she lashes out in a friendly way. But you've been tagged. I don't know. She's a very appealing personality, and I love that comes as a result of what you're forced to abide by creating her.
Yeah, her personality did come out in a way through the interactions, but of course, it's been fun to put that into her, and I wouldn't call it artificial intelligence. It's more semi-artificial intelligence.
Sure.
I basically structured her language the same way a very interactive NPC in a video game would be, so that every response has a variety of different responses and variables that can fill in to make the conversation a little more natural. And that will continue to progress. Actually, I have halted a lot of that to do all of this new development. But once I get the new bot running, I actually have somebody I'm working with who is a writer who's going to help me really, really expand on her conversation abilities.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I wondered, had you and Rabati, did you ever connect? Because I noticed his, Hive Pool has some of that as well. Not quite as saucy, not quite as strict.
Well, no, we never really worked together on anything, but we have talked a lot, and I am plenty happy. If anybody wants to throw a little sass into their bot, that's all good.
A little sass in any bot is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All the bots that I had seen so far are very stale. They're very just sort of, yes, here's the response, here is the exact thing every single time, and I want it to be very different every time in the way that even when she gives you your balance, even if it might be a slightly different way, everything that she's going to say is going to be able to be variabled, and then on top of that, I'm going to have it translated into multiple languages, so she'll actually be able to speak multiple languages.
Excellent. And I can that's just a ton of fun. How did you arrive at this? You said you have a programming background.
Yeah, not like a major one, but I've worked in a programming industry or like a media type advertising as well. I've done a lot of like front end web stuff. I've done back end server stuff. I'm kind of that full stack area where I kind of know I can fit in any of the slots in the development side. So I've worked in many areas alongside different teams, and so I don't know. I've just got a kind of a well-rounded knowledge.
Very cool. Very good. Well, tell us about this VR, this virtual reality nightclub.
Yeah. So this is a fun, random thing.
Okay. Yeah, tell me about it. What is this?
Well, okay, so I don't know if you guys are, or huh? What?
Maybe you can you post a picture to the Discord?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, now I can do even better than that. I'll give you a Medium article I just published.
Was that what you had sent kind of a link to earlier?
Yeah, this has a little more detail in it. So
Oh,
basically,
good. I
I don't
read
know
that.
if you guys are aware, but there's this pandemic thing going on. It's this little thing. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it. But the point is, I got furloughed from work for a few months, like many people, and I had nothing to do because I was inside. So while I should have technically been working on Tipsy like a good developer, I decided to fuck off, really, excuse my language, and do
Oh, there you
something
go.
something else. I wanted to use this time. I saw a lot of my friends were learning new abilities or new talents and things in this time. I was like, you know what, I could do that. So I used to do some 3D level design back in the day in like the Team Fortress Classic days, and I wanted to get more.
So I don't know Team Fortress Classic.
No worries.
What is
It's
that?
yeah. It's don't worry about it. It's a first-person shooter game.
Don't
But I
worry
used
about
I used
it.
to do map designs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to get back into doing some game stuff, and I've always enjoyed sort of like, indie game dev. So I started learning Blender and Unity, and I just kind of like, I don't know, just through my own little practicing and making things, I ended up making this virtual reality nightclub. And I use the program AltSpace VR, which is a platform based in Unity, to actually load it into a world, and you can go in and explore it, and have a good time in their limited capacity of doing things. But um, so that was just kind of a fun thing. I was just sort of doing that on the side. I didn't really think about the crypto thing until just the other, like last week at the Friday Open turntables, and I started realizing, wait a minute, I have a nightclub in space that you know we can take this party to very easily. You don't need a virtual reality headset to use alt space. You can use a PC, like just open it up like you would any video game,
And
and
you've
you can.
got links to it there in your article.
Yes, and of course, we'll help. I'll help anyone. I'm new to AltSpace, sort of myself. I've only been in there a few months, but during this time, I have become technically what's known as a world builder, since I built a world. And
Yeah.
the AltSpace team reached out to me the other day, and they're actually very impressed with my world and want to feature it and use it for an official launch party that they're doing for the new avatars that are coming out next week. So next
Oh,
week,
wow.
my club will be featured. A lot of people will be in it, and I can use that time to advertise this upcoming party, bring a lot more people into the LCC space, while at the same time, hopefully, bring you guys into the alt space side and kind of cross pollinate, if you will.
No pun intended. But that is fascinating. How
That
can
pun
we
was
best
very
use?
much intended. Thank you.
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me.
What? I
Pun
can be
intended.
25. I can be 25 again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can be whatever you
Now
want.
we'll see. Is Tipsy there?
Not yet, but that is something that I
Okay.
am currently working on. They have a scripting side to AltSpace where programmers can create custom apps and things to kind of intertwine with it, but it's sort of clunky at the moment, and I'm kind of sludging through it to learn it. And but when I do, I'm hoping at least by the time this party happens in a month, I'll have the ability to allow registered Tipsy users to hit like a check-in button, and it will give them credit,
Okay.
whether it be points or coins or whatever we end up setting up. I have no idea. That's not really. I just designed the hammer. I don't know what you're swinging it at. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Well, how do you think the LCC community can take best advantage of this next week? Where if you direct people to us, how do we put a good foot forward?
Well, what do you mean? A good foot forward? With the alt space or?
Just as you say, it brings maybe more eyes on LCC.
Well, I think the party will. I'm not sure if they'll be coming in exactly before that. I think the idea will be,
Okay.
so Altspace is designed to be an event hosting sort of atmosphere. It's created to be, a very like live events in virtual space sort of thing. So,
Yes.
and they have a lot of different worlds and such you can use, but the club I made is not like anything else they have. So I kind of added to their little repertoire, and so I'm making a sort of a name there. I'm just trying to use my connections as I best can, and I think this will be a lot of fun. And I think the party will be, I think through the connections that I've made on the side of AltSpace, I can have it widely publicized and advertised at other parties, get a lot of people interested in the event. So when they do show up, hopefully we
Got
have
it.
something cool to show them.
Yeah, exactly. Like a roadmap,
Yes.
a business, which I think the timing will come together nicely.
And
So
honestly,
what is?
hmm?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, regardless, it will be a fun time. I've been in alt space for a few months now. It's fun to be in a party there. It actually is is if you do have a virtual reality headset, it is very weirdly brain tricking. Like you're there. Ooh.
Well, that was my question because I've had to cancel sales events, where I go to these conventions, learning events,
Yep.
and I've missed that interaction. How you're saying it feels like you're there with a
It
VR
does.
headset?
Absolutely. It's a little cartoonish,
Wow.
obviously, when you're looking around, a little low poly. However, there is something even I'm a smart guy and I put a VR headset on and it's so good at tracking when you're looking around, you really do just you're there. It's bizarre. Your brain just accepts it like, okay, cool. And
And
then
I've had a little experience of that. Just that weird sense of you're standing on a building and feeling vertigo and
yes.
unable to force myself to step off a virtual ledge.
Yeah. No, I was the same thing and I had to like put my hand down and feel the couch next to I was sitting down and I still looked over the edge of something and had to put my hand down to make sure the couch was there. Just it's ridiculous. But people have taken this idea and they've created parties, basically little small parties. The first time I realized this was accomplishable in AltSpace was they have this like little block party thing where they had like a little suburban house with like a fire barrel out front and a hot tub in the back. It's like really realistically reminiscent of a little block party, and you just go there and
Little red solo cups.
yes, there were actually. Uh, and you would talk to people, you would hang out, you can go from conversation to conversation just like you normally would at a party. It's just that you're physically not there, but you're moving around as a little avatar and you can kind of customize your look a little bit. And now they're actually releasing the new avatars, which will allow you a lot of customization. So I'm kind of happy about that. But it does,
Okay.
it fills that void that I was like, I'm a very social creature myself and not being able to go out and not
Clearly.
being able to socialize. I I needed that, and I found it in the virtual world, and so I actually bought myself an Oculus Quest. I started on the PC. I didn't even start in virtual. I found this community. It was something to do. I could build a world and go play in it and kind of test it out at the same time without having to create an entire game around it. And I just found this little connection, and so I really think doing a party, since we already have a party community here, doing that party at a place that I built and 100% control and operate and we can invite a ton of new people in. It's just a nice mix, It just came together. It wasn't really pre-planned. It just sort of like the other day, just a eureka moment.
And as I understand it, so AltSpace VR is the universe, and
Yes,
the flying saucer, the nightclub, that's
yes,
your world,
that is
and
a
you
world.
control it.
Yes,
And when you say you control it, you get to allow what who comes in, who leaves.
I
Is
get
it
to
like
allow who
Hotel
throws in.
California?
No. It is open to the public. You can come and go as you please, but
Okay.
I get to choose who uses that template for an event.
Ah,
So
got it.
so
You
I'm
can book out
essentially
the
going
event.
to yeah I'm good. It's going to be it's going to be a reserved place. It's going to hold a little esteem, hopefully, in the future. So but I would love to, and eventually I'm going to be doing things where I can skin it out, have different, like, like when we have a hive party, maybe the whole inside will be decked out in LCC Accord, or decor and maybe some ring stuff. I don't know, but like that stuff down the road. I just got to get this thing kind of rolling.
So it's like a conference room in a hotel, a big grand. Well, this is a nightclub, right? So an actual
Yeah.
nightclub.
Hmm.
And if someone wants to use it for an event, they have to pay you because you created the world that they can have that event.
Yeah. Right now, I mean, obviously, I'm not going
Huh.
to charge the creators of AltSpace to
They
do it.
have
And
to they have to pay the rent.
yes,
Right.
basically.
With a little Earl Sir Sir. Trying to figure out a good way to say that.
Earl
Well,
Sir.
this is Earl Sir Sir.
Yeah, you got to
You
really
just
put that
phonetic.
hard country R on it.
Earl Sir
OTC.
Sir. You know, that's when I lived in Germany, I asked them, I said, because I know what other foreign language speakers sound like to me when they're speaking their foreign language, right? And I said, what is an American, like if you're going to like mimic an American speaking, how would you do it? And the German was like, oh, easy. They're like,
Yeah. It's like talking with a big chewing gum.
That's
like
yeah.
a big wad of chewing gum.
That's what it feels like all the time.
Yeah, but also the American says, how does German sound? It's like German Shepherd. It's barking.
No.
Exactly.
Das
Reich mir
stimmt.
bitte die Pfannkuchen.
But that's actually, yeah, okay. Austrian speaking kind of different German, more softly and more slang, and it's more like what did you say? Reich mir den Pfannkuchen.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Which, you know, is a very pleasant thing. Please pass me, you know, the pancakes. But it sounds violent. It sounds like I'm going to do you harm.
Insulting.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can't speak German lying down. You have to sit up. You got to get your body into it.
you watch too many World War II documentaries.
This might be true. Yeah, this might be true. Wow. Well, where do you? What are your? I guess I keep kind of stopping because I know I can't go into the details of kind of what your plans are here. But after last week's conversation, I don't know if you heard about it. We had a guest on talking about use cases for cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see it? What do you see as use cases? Something that uniquely only crypto can do, different from currency as we have it.
That's a heavy question. I mean, honestly, obviously, it can do everything currency can do, and then some.
Yes.
Honestly, it depends on the technology behind it. I would say some of them have data storage, some of them have. Okay, all right. You know what? I'll give you a good example. In my
Yeah.
pursuit of the VR world, I stumbled upon this group called Somnium. Hard to say.
Somnium. So
Somnium.
sleep.
Hard to say. Yeah. But they are basically they created a blockchain, their Somnium coin, and then with that blockchain, they have a VR world, much like AltSpace, but they have plotted land, and you buy land with their coin, and you own the land because you own the coin or something. Yeah, basically, they created their own internal ecosystem, which, to be honest, I do believe crypto will become less of like the euro and more of like small, internal ecosystems that are being used to power various applications and systems. And there is always
Yes.
going to be the need for the exchange system. So I don't think the idea of crypto is going anywhere, but I think the idea of hodling is going to go away eventually.
I absolutely, and is the idea of currency that you
Hodling is
have it.
actually counterproductive, or what's it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't use it. And it
It's the
also
opposite of the idea of
it's
currency.
speculatory inflation of value. It has no basis. So
That's
it's just
utterly
it's
illogical.
just a number that everybody
Yeah,
sees.
that's the split of if people thinking about like a store of value or a
Yeah.
currency. That's the thing.
But I think crypto can be more. It like I said, it can power its own internal system.
Sure.
So entire new ecosystems that we would never even realize can be created. I already was thinking about if I can get Tipsy to allow the DJs and the bartenders at my club to have a tip jar that you could put into,
Yes.
it's not
Yes,
an
we
impossibility.
need this.
It just needs to be figured out how to make the the APIs talk.
Yeah,
And
and I think that's way back when Tanner was kind of leading us along this path of how to program. Obviously it has to. The idea of cryptocurrency isn't separate from an ability to program, because you can't imagine a use for something you don't understand how it works. And
That's true. Well, I don't know. Not necessarily. I mean, there are plenty of people who come up with good ideas and don't know how, like, I can see someone being like, oh, it'd be really cool if you did this. I don't know how to do that, but
yeah,
Yeah, that's me. Always, hey,
well,
can
it's
you please?
definitely me. Definitely me. Yeah. The one thing, and this is, who knows what's happening with the ACAIM partnership with LCC.
I know what's happening.
What is it? You do. Is there anything you can say about it?
Yes, I'm actually a part of it. To be honest, now I wasn't before, but I sort of somehow got roped into it, independent of Litecoincash. I actually got roped in through links, through some various things, and
Oh
now
wow.
I can go ahead and say Tipsy is going to not only support the entire EWMCI coin line, but will also be integral into some projects that they are developing as well. Now, you said that ACAIM thing. Forget that.
Uh-huh.
Forget that acronym.
Okay.
I haven't
Okay.
seen that acronym in a long time. It's EWMCI.
And what does that stand for?
East West Crypto Magistrates something. EWMCI.info or something. Hold on, let me get the thing. The point is, they're like an index basically. They find worthy projects, much like Litecoin Cash and Links and a few and many others,
Okay.
and they every time these guys put money into the crypto space, they divide it equally into all of these groups, and they keep track of all the data of everything. Plus, basically, if you go look at their site, which I'm going to find in a second here, um,
Oh, there it is. East
you,
West Magnate Crypto Experts.
yeah, that's it.
So this has nothing to do with medical then.
Listen, it's a thing they were doing. The guy that runs this thing, he is a doctor.
Uh-huh.
He's a surgeon, so it's his
Oh,
thing as well.
interesting.
So his name is Stan. He's a really nice guy. He goes by Crypto Stan.
Crypto
He's
scan. Okay.
yeah, and I'm on a monthly video call with him and a number of other developers and heads of projects, and we all sort of get together. And Litecoin Cash is, needs can totally walk into this meeting at any point. Um, and we're basically developing some projects, and I don't really want to talk too much about it because it's not my project, so I can't really say much. I'll let them release what they want. But Tipsy itself and some pieces of it that I'm developing are being integrated into their projects. So that's also an avenue for growth. And
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Oh,
they are
go ahead.
focusing on use case as well, and I'll tell you that much.
Well, so and maybe I've misunderstood this from the get-go, but what I understood the ACAIM, and I'll never say that acronym ever again, but I have to reference a former understanding,
Yeah.
that it was an idea of maybe internet making medical records international and maybe a medical.
I think that might still be a thing, but like that might be a
Okay,
separate thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
I see.
he's definitely focused on the EWMCI portion of it now. That might have been a
Hmm.
sub project. I actually am not very aware of that project. I saw the acronym float around a few times, but I came into the whole thing
Yeah.
after that. But that may be something that he's developing separately. I know, he along with like specific partnerships within his little organization of the other coin people they're all making little projects together, and all these things are eventually going to hopefully come together in a larger schema. But that ACAIM thing might be something he was just working on with Litecoin Cash at the time or something, and I
I
don't know.
see.
And I don't know where the team went with that either. Like I haven't really talked to either side about that, so I can't really comment because I just don't know.
That's fair. How would you conceptualize the East West Magnate Crypto Experts?
I'm still trying to kind of grasp that myself. I think it's a
Okay.
group of intelligent people who are coming together and sharing ideas and talents across each other to try and as well as researching projects. Like I said, any of the projects that they involve
Huh.
themselves within, they've done a lot of research into. They definitely read the white papers. They make sure there's a community. They make sure that these things aren't going to just fall off the face of the earth. And so the idea, I guess, will eventually be to become a trusted name in crypto where that if you invest in any of these projects, you're likely going to get a good return. And here's the data to prove it right in front of your face. I think that's what they're basically doing.
Okay. So maybe a vetting organization, but it sounds like they also offer support, financial support to
Not
projects.
not financial support. It's just this is their portfolio, their mutual fund or whatever, and this is what they invest in, and they're, it's like you
Oh,
can also
got it.
go invest in these, and they're basically saying if you follow their lead, look at the charts, and you can see that they do nothing but go up. They're a little rocky, like all graphs, but they do actually
Yeah.
go up. And so that's it. Like on the face of it, I think it's mostly that. But then I believe behind the scenes, there's this cryptocurrency leadership alliance, which is partly what I'm in. That's what we are when we kind of like meet.
Okay.
And actually, there's a here. I'll show you something I made for them. So this is actually based on Tipsy as well. This is an API that I'm kind of working on eventually. But this is a market maker matrix that shows what all of the EWMCI coins are worth against each other. So that when they go to make the brand new markets on exchanges, they'll have a reference point to start with. Because how do you know what one coin is worth and another one off the top of your head? You need a table. So I created this little table for them.
API Tipsy rocks. Oh, I'm sorry to say I don't know how to read that. I'm not very well versed in it.
Well, if you just hover over it anywhere, wherever the lines cross, you can see like one LCC equals, 0.01 NVC or 0.06 TRC. So it's to tell you how much each coin is worth against the other coins specifically.
Got it. Yeah.
Because
interesting.
they're working with a couple of these smaller exchanges, these up and coming exchanges, as part of the whole leadership alliance as well. And these guys are allowing a lot of these coins to be markets against each other. So the idea will be to be able to trade directly and not have to go through Litecoin and Bitcoin and things like that. So we're, it's an ambitious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of parts to it. It's going to be a lot.
It has the feeling to me of, one of those things like, I don't know, those industries that control the world, but on the surface of it is just kind of like, like, pipes and fittings. And, these things that, it sounds like building an infrastructure. And maybe this is analogous to what, I can't remember his name, Andreas, and I'm going to slaughter his name, Andropoulos, but he writes about the internet of money.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I got it right. Where he talks about, crypto being like an automobile in 1890, a cool technology that had no infrastructure to really, be used.
Actually, it was our Austrian-Hungarian emperor who said, "Why do we need cars? We have horses."
Yes,
it would never survive. Yeah.
And it wouldn't, but it was the technology that drove the infrastructure that then showed
a short story about, I think it was in the UK. If you want to drive a car, you have to have 3 operators: one driver, one sign giver, and a guy who walks in front of the car and waves flags to tell the people go away.
Yeah. And at that time, you really wouldn't say, yeah, this is a promising technology. But it seems like what you're doing here is starting to build the infrastructure where, crypto can. He keeps saying it's the internet of money, and I understand the components, lexically, like what the words mean, but I'm still trying to conceptualize it. But
well, it's just,
this is a real good tip.
Potential is there, and like you said, there isn't a lot of infrastructure, and yes, that is kind of what we're trying to do over there, and part of what Tipsy is in general. I mean, when I first started Tipsy, it was just rough and dirty thing. But the new thing I'm creating, I'm trying to create multi-platform infrastructure, something that allows people who have no idea what crypto even is to be easily introduced to it, to allow them to use it very easily. You will be able to tip anyone in the world, anywhere, even if they don't have a Tipsy account, and it will reserve it for them until they come get it.
That's just huge.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a journalism project. Maria Bastilos is her name. She's the head editor there, and I'll look at the name of it. But that's kind of what they're trying to do with journalism. Is have it be journalists get paid through people actually reading it, offering tips, right? But the other way of it is as a mark of authenticity, that through the blockchain they're creating, you can know that it's verifiable news. because it's part of a blockchain.
And that
And
now that gets into the usefulness of blockchain versus cryptocurrency, because I think they're very different.
Yes,
You know?
I would agree. I would agree, and yet I find it hard to explain. You know,
Well,
but
I
yeah,
like.
I get that. Go ahead.
I was just say the blockchain. The blockchain is the factory engine. It's the part that like it does the work. It's where the technology is. The cryptocurrency is just the economy around it. So I mean, they are very different spaces, and they have different. I mean, like blockchain has way more um, potential and application than cryptocurrency does. Cryptocurrency will hit a point where, it's just a currency essentially. So,
Yeah,
but then there's the whole idea of smart
somehow.
contracts, which kind of I would say falls more under the side of blockchain than it does currency. Like I really don't like I personally don't like the whole use of tokens versus coins versus like it's sometimes it's hard to tell what a thing is. I wish there was a
Yes,
little more of
But that does it really matter?
it could.
I mean there's a difference there that I couldn't even begin to articulate. I know nothing about Ethereum or gas, and I
That's the
know those terms existed.
same. I
I
really
just
don't
don't
know much
understand
about
it.
Yeah,
Interesting. Well, thank you for making me feel better.
I was pissed this week. I moved my BAT coins from my browser wallet to my actually private wallet with Ethereum. And then I wanted to move it somewhere else, and it was like, yeah, you need that much Ethereum for moving that. I was like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, pissed is in drunk pissed or angry pissed?
Angry pissed.
Okay, good to know.
Fair
Well,
question.
awesome. I appreciate your time here. Did you have anything else to add, Oz?
Oh, not at the moment. I mean, definitely anyone who's listening, you guys, please go and check out AltSpace. Go ahead and get your accounts. Get used to the thing. It's not hard. You'll get into it real fast. You'll even meet some cool people, and then you'll be ready when the party happens. You can just log in real fast. It would take minutes to be there.
Now, I don't have a PC, and I use Mac, and so
Mm.
it probably better. What kind of VR would you recommend I buy for that?
Honestly, the Oculus Quest has been great. It's like $500.
Okay.
It's wireless. It's quality enough to make it feel good. You can go higher if you want to get like the Valve Index would be like the next thing I would recommend at $1,000, but and the quality will be a little
Holy
better.
shit!
But I've been very happy with the Oculus Quest, honestly.
So the Oculus Quest. Okay, so it's the all-in-one VR gaming headset, and that's got the little hand control.
No, he Motorhead is the guy who's recording all our stuff, and
Nice.
yeah.
Well, let it be known for the recording that Devil is premature.
What, the devil? No, it was Motorhead who did this, not me.
Oh, I see.
Blame it on Motorhead. You know, that does make me a little sad that we no longer have Lemmy Kilmister with us. That man was a real treasure. I have a feeling that he and Tipsy would have been friends if they'd met in any space. So just to recapitulate or recap for the talk here, she is rough, dirty, fast, and super strict. I've been keeping track of the adjectives here, and
Yep.
I got to say, the more you keep saying, it's like, yep, I see that aspect of her. She's she is a woman for all seasons and all realities.
And
This
she
is good.
hates me.
She hates you. Well, that's her. She's just rough with you, right?
Yeah.
Maybe she's super strict with you. But I think the other thing we have to add in, rough, dirty, fast, super strict. Also, friendly is not the right word, but personable. That sound about right?
Yeah. She's accommodating. She's a liaison.
There we go. Accommodating, and there is something French about her, so I like liaison. Yes,
Yeah. Well, that's
accommodating.
I call her the ultimate cryptocurrency liaison instead of bot.
There we go. The ultimate cryptocurrency liaison.
Yeah.
UCCL.
Uckle.
I didn't realize that. It's almost almost a palindrome. The LCCU UCCL.
Oh wow, yeah.
There's our palindrome.
Nice.
Happened here first. Man,
Excellent.
Oz, this has been a real pleasure. I love just getting to know a little bit of the personalities behind these awesome things that have been here, this whole time.
Yeah,
So
I would have
thank you.
jumped on the chat before, but whenever these happen, I'm always in my office and I leave my mic extension for my headphones at home. So I actually brought it today and I was able to speak.
Right on. Well, good. I'm either in the office or in my car outside an appointment, but it all comes together. I love it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it was
For
great.
me,
Thanks for having
for me, it's the third month, 12 weeks.
Nice.
I
This
still don't trust all these releasing of the lockdown because of the bars and clubs my friends own.
Sure.
But it's okay. They close at 1 o'clock, but I don't know.
No,
I was
don't.
I was this week with
Don't go out.
2
It's not
times
over.
with it was this week traveling with subway and tram and everything. It was like and there was one woman came in the mask only over the mouth, not over the nose, and she
Yeah.
was on the mobile phone, and she sat in the next booth in the subway. We have 4 seats booths in the subway. Okay, so
Okay.
she was in the next one. So okay, not close to me, but in my direction, looking in my direction.
Yes.
And she was talking, and then she sat down and removed her mask totally because she could easier speak on her mobile phone. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? And then she finished her call and was chatting or something on WhatsApp or something. And then I looked around at the people, and the people were looking at her and kind of curling their nose, but nobody said anything. and I was like, excuse me, ma'am, but the regulations are also for some mentally retarded and she said nothing. She just looked at me like, "Oops," and then put on her mask. And I said, "Thank you."
Nice.
That's what I love about
Civic
Austria.
duty.
Yeah.
That is one thing you don't get in America that I got in both Germany and Austria. Is very frank discourse that didn't really have to go anywhere. Someone's, just like totally frank with you, which from an American, standpoint can feel brutal. But once I got used to this, it was nice to not have the confusion of, are you being, why are you being nice to me? Why are you being a little weird? It was just very frank and open. I had a little
I said it in a friendly way. So she was
totally,
also Viennese, so she totally understood.
She got it.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what you gotta love. I miss the place. I need to get back. It won't be this year though.
No, they won't let
Thanks,
us.
Devil. Nope.
Yeah. Well, today, another story. Today, I got an email from my U.S. Cooperation partner company, and they were like, "Yeah, we have installation for you, and it's in Novosibirsk, Russia. How is it now with the travel regulations?" And I was like, "Very bad." No,
it's rough.
At the moment it's highest security or risky for Russia and everything.
Well, I think all you need to know about America is we have been banned from traveling to Europe because we are a shithole country.
Definitely, you have to stay where you are.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
No, actually, for me, it's for my company. I mean, I opened a company and after the COVID stuff, or in the COVID stuff, because I had time to read. And for me, it's now actually I'm in a quite good position because the Americans cannot come to do something. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, can you please, Italy, Milano? And I was like, last year you went there because it's a nice place. But now they cannot.
Well,
yes.
We always wanted to stop outsourcing our jobs. Now we have.
Yes, we have. There we go. Well, good.
No,
well,
it's
guys,
really
thank you.
Shitty. Okay, then.
We couldn't
Have
do
a good
without
weekend.
you,
Yeah,
Oz,
you guys as well.
Okay.
have a
Moderate,
great
start
one.
your engine.
Right on.